Do you mind? Little kitty, you gotta move. Hey guys, in today's episode we are talking about the Apple Watch Series 2. Specifically, what bands do I wear? Now, I have gotten Apple Watch bands ever since the very first Apple Watch that was released way back in 2015. But what exactly are the bands that I use on a daily basis for the Apple Watch Series 2? Now, keep in mind, these are going to be all different Apple Watch bands that I've used out throughout the years, and not all the ones that I've purchased since the first Apple Watch are still in my possession. So here we go. With the first Apple Watch band, we have the woven nylon band for the Series 2 Apple Watch. This band is 42 millimeters, and for this band, it does stain sort of easily. As you can see right on here in this little dot. But other than that, this band is held up pretty well. It is said that this is water resistant and will survive whenever you use it in water. However, I would actually not recommend putting it in water. It does take a long time to dry. It is quite durable, and if you scratch it, you don't really get that much of a wear and tear. But when you see here, it does bend a little bit over time, but that's something that can be adjusted. On to the next Apple Watch band. This was the very first Apple Watch band I got for my Apple Watch. This is the one that came with my original Apple Watch, which was the Series 0, as they call in 2018. For this Apple Watch band, no. Walter, you're okay, kitty. Kitty, you're okay. Come on. For this Apple Watch band, how you swap them out is there's this little button here, and they slide in, and then they can slide out. So this is the very first Apple Watch band that I have ever gotten. This came with my original Apple Watch. At the time, this was actually the most popular Apple Watch band that you could purchase. This has held up very well over time, and this is directly by Apple, made in Cupertino. What's great about this Apple Watch band is it still has that really nice silicone texture to it. Basically no wear and tear, maybe a little bit of dirt, but it's been nothing that it cannot wash off. For the next Apple Watch band, we have the Velcro root. For this next Apple Watch band, we have the Velcro... Oh my gosh, I really can't say it. For the next Apple Watch band, we have the Velcro loop band. For this one, it's definitely the most comfortable Apple Watch band I've ever purchased. However, you do want to keep this away from sharp objects, as it could wear and tear. What I mean by wear and tear is something sticks to it and pulls on it hard enough. This little fiber right here, this actually comes out. This Apple Watch band is a little different to put on. The first step is to get off your old Apple Watch band after holding down the buttons and sliding the band out. For this Apple Watch band, you can put it on two different ways. This is how I put it on. First, you want to make sure that the Velcro is not attached. You can do it this way, but I find it a little more difficult. So what you want to do is you want to line up with the side button with this side where the Velcro stitches are. You want to slide that into the little slider on the watch until it clicks. For the other side, you want to make sure that it is pointed this direction with this little switch right here. Slide it in here, and there you have it. Now to put this Apple Watch band on, you just slide your arm in, pull, wrap around, and it's on. Not much to that. On to the next Apple Watch band. Take it off, Never showed you how to do it, so just unvelcro it, loosen the loop, pull your hand through, and your Apple Watch band is off. Pretty easy to take off. Hold down the button, slides off, and you're done. Now on to the next Apple Watch band. This is actually the first band that I got with this Series 2 Apple Watch. This is the black silicone band. Now, I have not been nearly as fortunate with this band than I have been with others. As you can see, there is plenty of wear and tear on this band, and you can see that there are these little air bubbles coming up on the silicone band. It's gotten quite dirty, and it doesn't look the same as it used to, but I've gotten used to it. For the sport band, they are a little bit different from putting on different bands. For this one, you want to slide it in on the top till it clicks, slide on the bottom till it clicks. And again, this is the very first Apple Watch band that I got with this Apple Watch. For the last generation, it was the green. For this one, was the black. The sport band is confusing, so please pay attention. For this Apple Watch band, what you want to do is rest it on your wrist, hold both the sides, pinch it inwards to your arm, use your fingers to push this little guy on your wrist, match it up to the size. For me, it's the second to last one on the large band. You want to push the pin inwards. For this little flap right here, goes inside of the Apple Watch band, like this. It should be not tight, but also not loose, so it does not move around if you shake it. If it's not like this, please take off the Apple Watch band and find out which size is best for you. Having it too loose will cause your heart rate to not read properly, or other situations like that. Right, Walter? To take the Apple Watch band off, you want to pull this out. You want to hold the bottom so your Apple Watch does not fly off. Unclip, and you're done. Now for this next Apple Watch band that I have, I'm going to show you all the sport bands that I have purchased. I have the Nike White Sport Band, which does easily yellow when you put it in your jean pocket for too long. I have the Product Red Apple Watch Sport Band. This was the second Apple Watch band that I have ever purchased. The third was actually not from Apple. This was directly off of Amazon, but it was only $5. Now, unfortunately, when you go towards something like this, you do have a much worse texture. It is different, which is nice, but at the same time, I really don't recommend these for the sport bands. This button actually broke, so this one does not work properly anymore, all because of that change. I highly recommend getting the Apple Watch bands when it comes to the sport, because they do last significantly longer. Now, of course, I did not make this mistake once. I made this mistake with another Nike Apple Watch band. You can see there's a whole bunch of dirt on it. No matter how you wash it off, as soon as you take a towel or microfiber cloth, it gets right on that band. So note to self, stick with Apple's. I'm not saying Apple's bands are perfect, but you do get a much longer lifespan with these. But let's go on to the next Apple Watch bands. Yes, there is more. So when we get into the fancier series of the Apple Watch bands, I do have quite a large selection. For one, I have a very similar loop band to the Velcro that I just showed you, but it's metal. This one gets put on the same exact way, but instead it has a metal clasp. This guy is very magnetic. This was only $15 on Amazon, and to be perfectly honest with you, this holds up really well. I've heard mixed reviews on this band, that it does clutch on to fiber or your hairs on your skin, which has happened to me several times. Now for this Apple Watch band, to be perfectly honest with you, I think has been one of the best purchases I made. For the second best purchase, this was a gift actually, this is the Link bracelet. For this one, it's best to put it on while releasing it, and then sliding it onto the sides at the same time. With this Apple Watch band, you do have a much premium build. Now, this one is not like the this one is not like the Apple branded Apple Watch band, where you can just hit a button and these come out. For these, you have to use a pin that does come with the purchase itself, which can get rather frustrating. It's very hard to remove these, so I recommend finding your best size and sticking with it. Now, of course, I do have other nice Apple Watch bands that I will get to in just a second. For this one, oh? Aha! So for this one, it's a little weird. So for this one, this is actually also a magnetic loop band, just like this one, and just like the Velcro. They both loop onto the Apple Watch, and it gets put on the same exact way. Come on, Walter. It should not be on the table. So for this Apple Watch band, it's magnetic. Now this one was also an Amazon purchase, so I have not learned my lesson on that. But keep in mind, when it comes to the other Apple Watch bands, these are actually not that bad. They're not as high quality, and they don't last as long, and they're not as comfortable, but they are a pretty good purchase. And I think that it's a pretty good trade-off, especially when you don't want to spend over $150 on a really nice Apple Watch band. For next, we have our leather and fabric series of my Apple Watch bands. This was one of the more interesting purchases I made for the Apple Watch, which is I'm going to call it the wraparound band. It is not Hermes, which means it's not the fancy $450 leather band. This is completely different. I'm going to take this Apple Watch band off, and I'm going to put this one on. Now keep in mind, this does get confusing, and I don't think I'm doing this right. So what you need to do is slide on one side of the band, and then slide in the long piece to the bottom. Now for this one, you can wrap this around your wrist several different ways, and yes, you'll be wrapping it around. So for one side, you're going to put it on traditionally. But for the other side, you actually wrap this around your arm first, which can get kind of tricky, so please do this on a table. We're going to go inside of the loop, hook on, push this through the strap. There we go. And then there's possibly a second loop that you want to put the rest of the strap on, and you're done. Now, it does look kind of interesting, but I actually do tend to like this. Now, I don't wear this to work very often because it does get kind of itchy for me. I have very sensitive skin. I have eczema. So this isn't the best band to wear to work because it is very difficult to change or take off. But nevertheless, this was actually one of the better purchases I've made, and I've kept it very clean over time. For his next Apple Watch band, this one was also a gift. This was also from Amazon. Now what I like about these Amazon bands is that they're not expensive and they have a pretty decent quality. Now keep in mind, these guys tend to be a little short whenever you get it from Amazon. So always check to make sure that it's not too long or too short so it still works with your Apple Watch. For this Apple leather band, it gets on put like a traditional Apple Watch band, which is very, very helpful. Just like that. Fancy, am I right? Let's take off this Apple Watch band and move to the next one. We actually have... Whoa! That was scary. We do have one more Apple Watch band that I wanted to talk to you about. I do not have another Apple Watch band other than this that have survived my testing and survived my build. But this one, I actually built myself. It's not the best quality, and I do admit that there is some work to be done for it, but I really do like this Apple Watch. For this one, it is a little interesting to put on. This is a magnetic clasp. You gotta make sure, for my band that I've created, this is a complete prototype. You have to make sure that this is pressed against each other, because this all is gonna go under and on your wrist, just like this. This was fit directly for my wrist, but I have not made any way to adjust the size yet. Again, this is a prototype. You can put this on either side, whether you want the buckle to show up on this side or on this side. For this test, I'm going to put it on this side. So I have to put the H towards the bottom of the Apple Watch, while for the other end, it's going to go on the top. The next step for this is you unbuckle. You are going to slide your wrist in here. And again, I showed you how to do this with the bottom of the band. It's very important that that's on the bottom and not covering the heart rate sensor. For this buckle, you do have a little bit of adjustment, even though I said you didn't before, but it's not by much. You really don't notice it. For this buckle, they do kind of interlock together, and it clicks, just like that. And again, this is a prototype. When you look at it without the buckle, it actually looks rather nice. Having that buckle, if it was a little bit smaller and a little more compact, plus had a much neater design, I feel like this would be a really good sell. If you guys want to see me make more Apple Watch bands, please let me know in the comments section below. I'm more than happy to do so. But that pretty much does it for all my Apple Watch bands. Let me know about any other Apple Watch bands that you want me to try, or if you wanted me to create one for you. But until next one, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.